Hello and welcome back to Mzansi. We are back again. As we said, don't worry, we are going to unload as much as we can just to give you an overview of what is happening in this case. So, yesterday we spoke about an analyst that we felt as if there was a bit of taking a foot off the brake, a bit when it comes to this case and being critical when it comes to the case. And then we talked about a bit of independency and also the gigs that the mainstream media seems to be giving to people who are really not flying with what is currently happening in court. One might put it like that. Now, I know some of you might have seen the video of Elton Hart.
Yes.
So he's in UJ, right?
Yes.
Now, this is someone who definitely, in a sense, one can say he's got nothing to lose that much because he's working. Right. Now, let us hear the opinion of that person as an analyst again.
He's not working for the state.
No, I'm not saying he's working for a state. I mean the university.
He's working for the city.
Yes, that's where I'm going. That he's working, he's independent. I don't know what the other analysts are doing, but this guy.
Maybe they run their own legal firm.
This guy on the other side is someone who strikes me as someone who's got nothing to lose that much. He's saying what needs to be said at the right time. He's critical and he gives opinion there and there. And when he speaks, he's a person that I would really also listen to. So,
and to me, it's also creating that impression that maybe it's not so bad to do law at UJ, because you look at the caliber of, may he so rest in peace, Advocate Ngomezuli also did his degree at UJ. I advocate D4 as well. So maybe there's something about UJ. There's something about it that perhaps produces independent thinkers.
Yeah. You've got a point also there. That there is this freedom.
They are very much
in their
different
views. They do not follow the choir. They say what needs to be said at the right time.
So that's something that we should maybe look into. I'm not saying it as a fact. I'm just saying it's something maybe we should start paying attention to. That it seems like law practitioners from UJ are different, are built different, are made different. And Elton Hart has been one such a legal analyst who's been speaking in the media. I'm even shocked. South African media is no longer inviting him as much as they used to. I don't know what is happening. But
and many people were saying that you might not get more invitations after some of the invites where he was speaking, and he really I felt that too, that he might not be getting as much invites as you would expect him to get as a person who's really sober when dealing with as far as the law is concerned. Yes.
So now he did an interview with a channel called News Central.
Yes.
It's a news channel that is.
This is not a South African channel. No, it's an international one.
Yes, it's an international one, and they are mainly concerned about African news, news about the diaspora, covering all aspects and what is happening all over the continent. So. Yeah, it's an interesting one. You can check it out. And also, I was intrigued by this interview that Elton Hart did with them. I felt like it was the most authentic, even the journalist and how they were answering the question. They were not taking any particular sides per se, and they were asking questions that general public or a person who maybe has no clue or idea about the Senzo Meyiwa trial would want to know, and understand. So they came with that angle instead of siding with a particular side, which is what we are being conditioned to in South African media, that somehow we must understand some of the most outrageous decisions that the state is taking, and the apologists for the state.
Yes, most people did recently, they sound like apologists, not even recently. There were a few people that we really believe that, okay, these people are saying, at least we're not crazy when we go to that direction. And then I would say it's too early to judge, but it seems as if one man down. We are left with one person who can speak freely, and that is Elton Hart, in my opinion.
I remember on the video we covered yesterday how Fiso just dropped that bombshell and the journalists just brushed over it.
Yes,
like
just to actually get deeper to what Fiso was saying, I don't feel most of these things, most of what Fiso, of his grievances were addressed by the so-called analysts.
They just brushed it off.
It was more of a general talk, more than let us address these things. And this was the right time. This was the right time for them to address these things.
Oh well, it's all lost. Maybe they will care at the conclusion of the trial. Who knows? I don't think they care about the Meyiwa family that much, in my opinion. It's just a matter of showing the public that they're doing something, and maybe they're trying to balance forces, because kudos to the public, kudos to the court of public opinion, because you guys don't give up, eh? You guys are persistent in this trial and wanting to see justice for it. You're not giving up at all. In fact, now you're more invigorated. I'm seeing the comments on every single platform that is being or that is talking about this case, and you guys are very much interested. You're holding everyone accountable. So that's really nice to see. So guys, we did take that clip, and today we're going to talk about it, and we're going to react to what Mr. Elton Hart had to say on that interview. It was refreshing. It invigorated some of us. Let us listen to what he had to say.
When did you learn the word invigorated?
Maybe I learned it in the court from Ramusipele or something.
Yeah, let's go. I find it new in your vocabulary.
Maybe I read it from Ramusipele or something,
All right, let's hear what Elton was saying.
Let's now take you to South Africa, where Tulani Mgumezulu, one of the defense lawyers in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, has died. His family confirmed in a statement that he passed away on Tuesday. He represented Muzi Sibiya, one of the 5 men accused of killing the former Orlando Pirates and Bafana captain 10 years ago. Advocates Mgumezulu testified last year, raising concerns about his safety. Earlier this year, he informed the court that he believed his life was in danger after 2 suspicious individuals visited his residence. He had been following court proceedings from home due to ill health. Meanwhile, the trial has been postponed to January 8, 2025 for a special sitting, with the case resuming on January 20. And now to discuss this, we are joined by Elton Hart, an attorney with the University of Johannesburg Law Clinic, and it joins me from Johannesburg. Thank you so much, Elton, for joining us.
Good morning, and good morning to the viewers up in the West.
Thank you so much. Now, given that this is one of the most closely followed trials in South Africa and globally, how have South Africans reacted to this latest story of the passing of such a high-profile defense lawyer?
No, there is mixed feelings amongst the South African population, because obviously there is South Africans that feel that these 5 accused is the man that's responsible for the death of our former Bafana captain, Senzo Meyiwa. And there's some people that is like of the view that these 5 guys is not really the right accused to stand trial for the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. And so you have these 2 sides to the coin. But obviously, as a legal practitioner, Tulani Mgumezulu was a colleague to all of us who's legal practitioners in South Africa. And we sort of feel it because it's a loss for the legal profession, and also it's a loss to his family, and obviously, in his own right, he was a good legal practitioner, and he did what he could do for his client up until he could no longer due to ill health. But there is mixed feelings, and obviously there's some South Africans that felt like the judges were now, or Judge Rata Mokgotleng was very disrespectful to the man at some stages, and now suddenly he wants to observe a moment of silence in court. So there is that two opposite sides of the spectrum, and then you obviously get the South African that just says, okay,
but during the course of his
died,
trial,
they're not saying anything about it.
Okay, Elton,
Yeah.
Now,
Pretty much
of what is happening. I can imagine if this was given to other people who have certain agendas. In my opinion, they will probably be pushing one narrative that the feeling in South Africa is he's balancing. First of all, the very important thing is that he's balancing how we are feeling as South Africans. This is a true reflection of what is currently happening. You know, he's not just talking about one side. You know, he's not singing the hymn of let the law take its course, let what, let us do. He's telling him what is happening and what is the feel, what is the mood in South Africa. Just that, you can tell that whatever that is going to come after that, the opinion is going to come after that, it's a fair opinion. It's not going to be that opinion of, yeah, wushu-washu one, where you feel like, but that's not exactly what is happening in South Africa. That's not exactly what is happening in court. He seems to be following the case close.
Yes.
You know, that's the first thing that you must give him.
I'm also getting
He's,
that
you know, he's
watching.
comfortable talking about it and the feeling around the case.
Yes, and if you did watch and you went to the court of public opinion, it's something that is a fact. You would know that most of us were not happy with the moment of silence, considering how the judge was treating Gomezu's
Indeed,
sickness.
we were not happy. I questioned it. I questioned it as to I never understand why, in my opinion, if you disrespected the person while they were still alive, why would you look to respect them when they are gone? Or that one might perceive it as spitting in that person's grave. One might perceive it as that if you now all of a sudden a respectful person to that person. Maintain that decorum that you had with the person. Maintain it. Be true to yourself. Ungabi don't be changing all the time. You know, we don't know what to get. Today you are angry, the following day you come back, something has happened, you sympathize with that person. But your action when it comes to that particular action of maybe that particular portion of Mngomezulu where he was sick, you never cared, in my opinion. There was nothing that shows that you cared. You even insinuating that you, even if he's sick, you'll drag him from the hospital. You wanted him to come to court, you know.
Be seen in the court and come
Which
and
surprises
the court
me.
and tell the court
Yes.
exactly how he is. At some point, you even wanting to know the details of his medical conditions so that they
Exactly.
put on record.
You were telling us
were
stories
questioning
of how you deal with
the
people
doctor.
who. Yes.
We must forget all
Same
that
same as Rata was doing with the accused who was sick. I don't know who if you can
accused
remember.
number 5
Accused
was
number
having
5
a
was sick.
stomach bug.
Yes, you wanted all the details
to
to the T.
Where he was treating the lawyer.
And when
the
you
same
have
way.
to adjourn for the states or anything else other than the defense, it's okay. No questions asked. We asked for a timetable from Guinea that you wanted to adjourn until I don't know until when. That timetable was never finished.
And maybe some people may feel like, oh, you guys are too hard on him. You've been hammering on him. You know, when I read about that JP's massacre trial, do you remember when we deliberated it on the channel? Do you guys remember that? It concerned me that this has been a pattern. This is how he treats defense attorney. he does not treat them with respect. All of them were crying, somewhat similar to the challenges that these current defense attorneys are having with him.
Yes.
And I'm like, this is something that he's used to. And unfortunately, this time around, with Mgomezulu, we are not understanding.
Yeah, I had to read the cases before. I mean, he made some excuses at some point when certain attorney who was complaining about him.
Yes.
You know, he made excuses and all that. And that was a different case.
Like 10 years ago.
10 years back.
It's a long time ago.
We still feel like this is happening.
And I'm like, this is a thing that he can't help himself. But now we are hurt. We are not okay because now we've lost Mgomezulu.
And all of a sudden, everything is urgent. Oh, okay, let us observe a moment of silence.
Brush over it and be like, oh, a moment of silence. At least he did a moment of silence.
No.
But a little bit of kindness and humanity on his final moments would have not done any harm. And it's not like Mgomezulu did anything wrong.
All that he was doing is his job. That's all I can say. All that he was doing is his job.
Didn't do anything wrong, but he was treating him like he's lying about his illness.
Yes.
So that's why most of the public is outraged. And we didn't need that moment of silence. Could have just kept it. Be consistent.
Yeah, keep the feeling, guys. Just a reminder, please press that like button. And after pressing that like button, I would like to comment on this one. Guys, do interact with the adverts. I know they could be irritating, but they are helping us. So otherwise, we don't have a means to maintain this. We don't have means to do all these other things that we need to do in this studio. We told you this is not our studio. So we pay. There are a lot of things that we need to pay for here. So just a request. The adverts are still important to this channel. I think they're going to be important to Infinite. They are important. We maintain using them. We buy what we need to buy using them. There and there we do get assistance. But the adverts, in a sense, everything goes through that advert. So if it's good with you, let everything play. Because I mean, we don't want to be asking, hey, please, can you please donate 1, 2, 3? We don't want that. So please press that like button, interact with the video as much as you can, according to how you feel, and then that's basically how we get to maintain this channel.
Oh yes, most definitely, guys. If you can watch them adverts, please do. We'd highly appreciate it, yes. And yeah, let's hear what he has to say again. Let's listen to the interview.
In the course of the trial, he raised concerns about his safety. At that point, couldn't security details have been, isn't it possible that security details should have been provided for him? And do you think that would actually, skew the possibility of this particular case being in favor of those accused?
No, indeed, he raised concerns about his security, his safety, and stuff like that. But normally what happens in South Africa is like if the prosecutors or the judges feel that their life is being threatened, they would normally get assistance from the state with security detail to just make sure that the perimeter and maybe a patrol car outside the house to just ensure. But when it comes to the defense lawyers, it's the legal practitioners, that courtesy is not extended that far. He raised concerns. The only thing that he could have done is to maybe to go and open a case at the police station, make them aware, and ask them to patrol. But there would not be a right that he can actually enforce to say, listen, due to the nature of my work, I feel that I'm being threatened. And a lot of defense attorneys over the years were shot. Like we had colleagues down in Cape Town that were shot by people, gangsters. So with the defense lawyers or the practitioners, that right or that courtesy is not extended to them. So that is the problem that we have in South Africa. But when it comes to the judges and the prosecutors, they do get that protection as part of the job perks, if one can put it that way, that they would get if they feel like their life is threatened due to a case that they're handling.
Okay, so let's.
You see, that's a very interesting point of view. So, Maloyi can be protected.
Yes, even the judge.
The judge can be protected. I'm sure even the witnesses can be protected.
From the states.
From the states, even worse, yes. But the lawyers from the defense side, they cannot be protected. What is an assumption? Is that the assumption the states will always have clean hands?
Yeah, I guess that's how the law works. It's
there is already this belief that the states is the holy than thou.
Yes.
And they
can do no wrong. They are representing victims. That's the assumption.
But what happens if the state is not involved? What happens if the case is between two people?
Then whoever is using the state prosecutor.
No, I mean, we can go to court. My lawyer, your lawyer can go to court.
Oh, I don't know how that works.
So there's basically no protection if you feel threatened. So they would say it's there. I know they would say it's there, but from what we are hearing here is that it's basically not there. It's like it's there, but it's not there. It's there by weight. You need to go to any of these police stations and open the case, and that case is not gonna exonerate you from the crime that might happen to you. It's just to say there is a lead in a sense. Like you are helping them to, when it happens, for them to find it easier. If you have an idea who's actually after you, if you have an idea, and that is a big if.
Let's just go open a case. A case is gonna save your life.
No, it doesn't.
In South Africa.
But that's sad. Let's continue.
And also, I like how they actually took it back there, because the South African media does not talk enough about how Advocate Ngomezulu raised this. Even when he raised it in court, it was not something that they talked about. It's almost like only us who were of the court of public opinion were concerned that a defense counsel was being followed all the way to his home. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't a big hullabaloo that this man's life is not in safety. It's in danger.
You know why is it going to be difficult for them to actually go there? Because then they might have to insinuate that there could have been a third or a second hand from Ngomezulu's passing, and that they will have to investigate that part. Maybe that's why they are running away from that. To say, hey, if we talk about this, then we might have to go further. Is it because of that?
Maybe.
That is the problem.
And that is why we are having serious problems and issues right now, where we feel like, why does it look like we are watching two different cases? But at the same time, I'm very, very impressed with how they went back to the safety element that Ngomezulu was addressing in the court and raised it in court. So perhaps even Sfiso was not far off, or was not, just saying whatever he said. Perhaps there's something there, because now we're in the situation where Ngomezulu is gone, and he was raising this in court, that there are people who are following him all the way to his home, and he was in danger. I don't know if he opened the case or not, but if he didn't, I also wouldn't blame him. This is South Africa after all. It's just, it is what it is. And we all saw how the court handled it. It handled the matter how it handled it. It wasn't a big deal.
It wasn't. It was just, oh, okay. Oh, right. We hear you. But let's continue hearing.
Talk about Muzi Sibiya. Should he consider appointing one of the existing defense lawyers already working on the case, or would you advocate that he brings in maybe a new lawyer? Probably that would be beneficial for him in this case.
I would say that he can take one of them, but if I was Muzi Sibiya, I would have appointed a new legal practitioner. That new legal practitioner would be given all the transcripts, and if there's questions that that new legal practitioner feels that was not canvassed with a specific witness that the state has put on the stand, he can ask that that specific witnesses be recalled so that they can actually cross-examine them. So I would think you should go for a new practitioner. That would give him a better chance, because there is things that I was of the view that some of the practitioners, maybe due to not having the necessary information available, could not canvass these points with some of the witnesses. But now that it's there, he can now, or it can now be canvassed with these witnesses. And I would suggest he goes that way, but he can also appoint one of the current guys in the interest of not delaying the thing. But he also needs to check what is in my best interest to put up my best defense. And I would opt to have a new practitioner come on board so that he has that transcripts and that second bite at the cherry, if one uses that word loosely.
Well, it's quite interesting, Elton, that the lead investigator claimed that certain statements tendered during the course of the trial did not need further investigation. In your own opinion, is that actually justified, or probably that's an attempt to probably cover up something?
No, for me, I don't trust the lead investigator. People can crucify me for that, but that guy, I've never trusted his way of investigating this case. Why was there two dockets in the first place, docket 375 and this 636? Why was that there? Why was there two different teams? Why, if one team says there's a different narrative, why do we not investigate them both? Why do you only stick to one narrative? And for me, there's too many loose ends that he's trying to cover up. And then when he's asked and probed under cross-examination, then he says, but he cannot testify. But when the state led him, he was so open and willing to testify about cell phone data and how the data was and what does it say. But when he's cross-examined, he say, I did not, and the court is protecting him in that regard. So for me, I do not trust this guy's way of handling the investigation.
Oh yes.
Let's start with Muzi. He is saying, get a new lawyer.
Yes, you were against it at first. When we first talked about it, you said you should not get a new lawyer.
I suggested I said he can, but I suggested who's this? Niece. If he was to choose amongst, that's what I said. But on that perspective of Elton, I like it because it says it gives him a new chance, a renewed chance if he goes with a new lawyer. Do you understand? That's the most important thing.
And I honestly would prefer that.
Unfortunately, which speaks to now, let's go back to why then was he pushed to take someone within the group?
It was because
that's where we were hammering on. We did not take that well.
That they were giving at the time was that they didn't want to delay the proceedings. They didn't want to have a further delay. They just wanted to proceed with whatever has been accumulated thus far, and that one of the defense counsels can just continue where Mgomezulu left off. And Umuzi was not being given a chance to honestly make up his mind about how he felt. You guys were watching as we were deliberating on what was happening on Friday and how it was it on Friday or the Wednesday. I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday. That it was all rushed. It was all like, and he ended up at the end saying, you know what, I need to speak to my family. And I understood that he's feeling a bit overwhelmed. He's not been given a chance to really process what is happening. It feels like decisions are being taken for him, that he must just go with these one of the 4 legal attorneys. Whoever feels like handling his case can take it, and then they just move. There were also some legal experts who were saying in the media that the new attorney is going to need to come in and be given a chance and time to go through the transcripts, which have been more than a year, which might take a bit longer. And also they will be charging Muzi for reading and going through the transcripts. And because of that, we ended up saying, you know what, maybe he should go with a legal aid lawyer instead, or just continue how the court feels. I even remember that conversation, and I feel like that's how Mr. Anonymous, you were saying maybe he should just succumb because of the funds. Okay, but now what Elton Hart is saying is that
there is a benefit of having a new lawyer, because he might recall some of the witnesses that he feels there was less done in terms of questioning them, or there was less clarity in some of the questions that were given. So he might be having that advantage. And considering the fact that this case in its entirety is actually created to form a situation where you cannot be able to ask the next person, in my opinion, what happens is that a person that you're going to be needing during the witness that is currently on the stand has already testified. It's sneaky like that. So and this is where I draw my line and say, you give them, the prosecutor, all the powers and say they can conduct the case as they wish. But what happens when you find the situation as this one, where first witness, you definitely require the first witness on the second one. Yes. The second one and the first one are covered by the third person. And by the time you want them, they are gone. By the time you want to open that, now you have to go through a judge, and it's up to the judge to recall that person. Now you must give reasons. Basically, you can end up recalling everyone. And it was done like this, in my opinion, on purpose. And I've been talking about this reverse way of doing things. It's like we're gonna start from the end, to the front. So whoever is there is shifting the blame to everyone that has come to testify. Yes. And you cannot clarify that. Zungu is needed at some point. Muhan is needed at some point. Yes. Almost everyone that has come to the stand is required after Brigadier
testimony. Everyone who was saying you can ask Brigadier Gininda, you can ask Brigadier Gininda, and then when Brigadier Gininda is on the stand and now is saying something different, I think you should have asked the person that was doing that, my lord, I cannot comment on what another person's statement is saying. Then they should all be recalled. It's only fair. They should all be recalled, because you had said that Brigadier Gininda is the one who should answer to this.
We were waiting for Gininda. All of a sudden,
is telling us that we should ask you. So what is being covered up here? And then after they're done with them, recall Gininda again to say that your people still maintain that you are the one who knows, or you did this and this and that. So what must we believe? What is the version that must be taken, yours or theirs? You understand what I'm saying?
I fully understand you.
So maybe a new lawyer is not such a bad idea. The only thing that is an unfortunate is the funds, the money. Paying a new lawyer is going to be costly. And with this case and how it's going, and provided that every lawyer, I think every person in the legal fraternity right now can see the hostility coming from the judge.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy finding a new lawyer. The only lawyer you're going to enjoy, or that's going to enjoy this, it's a lawyer who's always toe-to-toe with judges and is not afraid.
Like the one who was representing Kreja on the trial, within the trial.
Yes, even the one who was representing Bafana, the Bafana Maungela. man.
But then the problem with that, the reason why I chose a person of no color, there's a reason behind. There's a reason behind that.
He disrespects black people.
In our opinion, again, this is not what we are saying it does, but the feeling is that it does not take them serious.
That's the problem with you black lawyers. Those are some of the comments you had to apologize for.
Yeah. So it's
the one from Rodovan Kretcher's case.
It would be very nice to get that lawyer if he was available. I would like to see that going down the finale and see how it goes and how is he going to behave, right?
Yeah, let's continue.
Might be a brigadier, but I do not trust him, and I think there is more to this case. And the mere fact that he said in court that Kelly Khumalo was supposed to be accused number 6, and he had the information on the confessions back then. Why did he not arrest her? Even that arrest warrant, why did he not pursue her? Because he pursued these guys very hard. Why not her? And also Longwe Twala, if that is the case, because the photos that was on the phones. So for me, I don't trust these guys, and people can fight with me about it, but that's my view as a practitioner.
Oh, well, Elton, it seems as though this particular case has dragged on for too long with a lot of questions that need to be answered. But then considering the evidence presented in the court so far, do you believe that the state has built a strong case? Probably there's a way that we can come to a conclusion soon. Or maybe there are some state actors that actually have vested interest in this case. I don't want to see to get put to bed and justice being served.
No, for me, the thing is, like, a lot of the state's case is built on circumstantial evidence. Even the ballistics evidence, I would have, but obviously we'll have to wait for the defense team to bring their ballistic expert. And I feel like just because there was tampering with that ballistics evidence, the bag was not sealed, there was tampering with the crime scene. So it's a lot of circumstantial evidence, but as it looks now, and the way I could see the judge react to certain lines of cross-examination by the defense teams, I can see that sort of, and also by him allowing the confessions to stand, I can see that the state didn't have a case, but the confessions help the state's case now. And I can see that there is a maybe 70-30 chance that they are getting convicted on this case, but obviously there's good grounds for appeal. And for me, I think if the defense comes, they need to now be very clear as to what evidence they're going to put before court. But obviously with Sibiya having this opportunity to get a new defense lawyer, I think he should use that option, and it might open up some other things. And I believe that there is higher powers that is involved in the investigation of this case.
All right, Elton Hart, thank you so much for sharing this profound knowledge with us on the news.
Higher powers.
Simple, and I don't understand why we are subjected.
He does not trust the man. He does not.
Why must we pretend?
We are not crazy.
Like there was actually an investigation that was done. Why must we pretend that there's evidence? What was the other reporter saying? Evidence, explosive evidence. Why must we pretend that there's explosive evidence? Why? Why do we need to play this game and play along and pretend like, ooh, the state has something solid here?
Exactly. Why should we pretend? But I'm happy that he's saying, I do not trust this guy. There is a lot at play. It's not us. Because when we say, you guys don't know law. You don't know law. Someone from the law side is saying, I don't trust this. There's a lot at play. In fact, he believes that there could be a third power behind this. So, at least there's someone who has a qualification, who can back it up, saying, no, I don't trust this guy. So let's hear what you guys have to say. Press that like button. Please press that like button as much as you can. I'm currently, Emily, looking for Net from the comments. I don't see Net.
Oh, Nami, Net, we are looking for you. We heard that now you have a new account. Please communicate. Which one?
No, it's not the new account. It's the old one.
Is it?
Yeah.
It hasn't changed the name.
Yeah.
Net, please say something on the chat.
The thing is, she's saying she said something, but I don't see her.
Oh, Waban.
I really don't see her. So maybe we need a bit of refreshing. But guys, please call and tell us what you thought of that. This is a short one. What did you think? Hearing someone from the law side saying exactly what we have been feeling, and what is your take? What is your take?
What is your take, guys?
But before we open the line, Emma, did you have anything to?
No, I wanted to share what some of the legal experts were saying.
Yes.
Across all media platforms. Let me quickly get it here, because I was very like, okay, this is some of the advice they had. We've just heard from Elton Hart what he thinks should happen with accused number 1, Sibiya, and there are some people who have been asking us if we can talk about what Muzi should do. I don't think we have a right to tell him what to do, but if we put ourselves in his shoes, what would we do?
I align with Elton in this case in saying that fight for a new one, a new lawyer to come on board. Preferably a shark like Mgomezu.
And some legal experts foresee lengthy delay in Senzo Meyiwa trial.
There you go, South African way. You start by that.
Death.
You start by that.
Another legal expert has said that appointing a lawyer from those representing others might be an option, but that might lead to a conflict of interest. And they're saying that the death of one of the lawyers in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial is likely to cause a delay in the trial, as the accused represented might opt to appoint a new lawyer who will need time to assimilatize or familiarize themselves with the case. Now, the question now is, will the trial be delayed after the death of Mgomezulu, lawyer for accused number 1, Sibiya? And he has to tell the court what he's going to do next. Sibiya holds the key to whether the trial continues without further delays or not. Such a huge responsibility. The NPA and analysts said that Sibiya would have to decide if he wanted to represent himself, brief a lawyer of one of the co-accused, or get a new lawyer. Getting a new lawyer means that the trial will be delayed, as they would need to be afforded time to be briefed by their client, go over the evidence, and decide if they want to recall a witness who has already testified. So legal analyst Ntabiseng Dabuzana of Dabuzana Attorneys said that how Mgomezulu's death affects the trial will depend on what Sibiya wants. If the accused wants to proceed on his own, then not much, but should he want legal representation, it will affect it significantly, she said. So Dabzana said if Sibiya wants a new attorney, that attorney has to make an application for transcripts or the record from the beginning of the case. The court has to repeat the accused Section 35 rights, which are that he has a right to conduct his own defense, or get an attorney from the state, or get an attorney he will pay for. So what he chooses will determine the next step.
They are making it seem like accused number 1 is the one who's responsible for all these wrong things here. And that's how the analysis of South African lawyers are. They just fail to look at the core of the case. Like Elton is saying, you bring someone new, you stand a chance of being able to recall someone. You bring someone old, most of those options are closed, because that person has already cross-examined that person, which is a very valid point. So bring someone new, because you stand a chance of having someone being recalled after the great brigadier has testified.
So also she said that the court must ensure Sibiya's rights to a fair trial is upheld. It is entitled he is entitled to legal representation. The process is the same for all cases. A new attorney has to have his transcripts and given an opportunity to understand the case. For the new defense lawyer that might have to step into the case, the biggest hurdle is not having been there from the inception of the case. Worse still, if the accused changes his version of events. Further to that, the court being impatient with his preparation. I can foresee that. I can foresee the court being impatient with his preparation.
That's why we need someone who's got a heart, a big heart,
and is not afraid of the court.
and the mind of an elephant.
Criminal law expert Willem Els said that the trial cannot continue without Sibiya having a representative. Criminal law expert said that the trial cannot continue without him having a lawyer. Normally in cases like that, whenever your lawyer dies, whether your lawyer gets sick or whether you fire the lawyer or whether the lawyer withdraws, they have to postpone the case to afford you time to get a new lawyer. And then that lawyer needs to have time to prepare himself or herself, and then the case can continue. So it's just going to be a delay in the case now. Watch how Sibiya will be blamed for the delay. They tried it before. That is why a lot of people don't understand why Mgomezulu, even when he was sick, he could not tell the court to stop or tell Muzi to look for a new lawyer or any of those things that they were recommending on the social media streets.
Yeah, I got the current judge is speeding the case.
Yes.
That's what the analyst of yesterday. What's the name of the analyst? Zigalala. Yes, that's what Zigalala was happy about. The speed of the case.
Yes. So the reason why Mgomezulu, even though he was sick, he was telling the court to continue is because he didn't want any prejudice against his client to now be blamed for delaying. Whenever the defense, life happens to them, there's this interesting way of blaming the delay on them. But when the state causes delays, it's all silent and nothing, no one is blamed. But when something happens with the defense, life happens, they will be blamed.
Emil, can I take this call?
Okay.
Mzansi, hello. Oh, sorry about that. I just realized that we are not connected. Mzansi, hello?
Hello?
Yes, how are you?
I'm good, and you? I know. How are you doing, guys? Hi, Emily.
Hello.
Yeah, I hear you guys. I hear Elton Hart. I think Elton Hart is right. It is going to be good if we are getting a new lawyer because. We don't say those ones are bad, but it's not fair for Sibiya. Really, it's not fair because he decided first time that he needed someone. That's why he appointed Gomezo.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now he's forced. Why is he forced to take a decision? To take a decision to be ukuthi akhethe abakhona lapho. Why it's not fair for him, really.
Yeah, no,
it's not for him. Yeah, it's not. We don't care about the time. We're looking for justice. We don't care how long this case can take, but as long as there will be justice, it's fine.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yes. Continuing on, he said the accused has a few options. The first option is that he gets a state-appointed lawyer. He has to take that lawyer, or he can get himself a private lawyer, or he can decide to defend himself. But at the end of the day, the accused has to inform the bench what he's going to do. And another legal expert, Mpumelelo Zigalala, yes, that's the one yesterday we were talking about, also said that Sibiya will be given an opportunity to find another legal representative. He said the new lawyer would have to start from scratch, by going through transcripts, evidence led in court, and he will decide, or they will decide, if any of the past witnesses would have to be recalled for cross-examination. So accused number 1, Sibiya, is supposed to be given time to see what he needs to do, which decision he must take moving forward. Either he represents himself or gets a new private lawyer, or be represented by one of the lawyers from legal aid, or he takes and continues with one of the counsels for the other accused. Yeah, but this weirdness of him now being limited and being it feels like a choice was taken for him to say that he needs to continue with one of the 4 counsels, and they are stating that they don't want another delay, which is one of the reasons why they were insisting that of the 4 legal counsels who are for the defense, one of them should continue representing him. And but under normal circumstance, from these legal experts, you can sense that a delay is inevitable.
That's a common thing. A delay, it's okay. We're talking about someone's right here.
And what do we do? How do we digest
Next
what
caller.
the court will say after this delay?
Zanzi, hello. Zanzi,
Good
hello.
morning, sir.
Yes, say, how are you?
I'm good. Good morning, Stanley.
Yes. Hi. Morning.
Hi, my name is Rivak. I'm phoning from Durban.
Yes.
All the way from German.
Okay, the thing is, it's a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
I think, remember it was on a Wednesday when Musa was asked about choice of preference on who was supposed to come. He mentioned that he was the thing. You understand?
Yeah.
He was saying his finance were dwindling down.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
He was fighting judge to be able to keep up with the payments, right? So that is one challenge that Busis has got when it comes to having a new lawyer. But having said that, what Elton said is very valid. Do you know why Judge Rata is not for the idea of a new lawyer?
Yeah.
Because 80% of all the people that came as witnesses, they lied under oath. So what it means now, when a new lawyer comes in, it's coming in armed with information that is already on the record.
Yes.
So it will be difficult for them to debunk that information because it's already on the record and it has already been said under oath.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So when that person is now being re-examined, they will end up contradicting themselves. You understand? Of which now it will open a can of worms. And I think that's one thing that the state, through Judge Rata, who is pushing for for him to choose either of the 4 legal practitioners.
Yes.
Now, the problem is people don't want to say things as it is. Sibiya said Ngumi Zulu was killed. You understand? Allegedly, okay? But it's a fact. Do you understand?
Yeah.
We can beat about the bush, trying to figure out and trying to say things like, hey, you are moving in it. Remember that everybody with the information to exert the accused is dead. Makluane, the one who saw him with the door is dead. Nkashe is dead. The police officers that had the information, they all died. Because the guys who died were police officers that were objective. You understand? In terms of their presentation of facts.
Yes.
You see. Then the other loophole that I see in terms of 375 is that if Keninda was the lead investigator, You understand? He had the right to call Buthelezi and Makubo to order.
Yes.
Do you understand? But the mesh says that he could not have the power and authority to tell him not to go ahead with the investigation. It means that they were all at the same level. You understand? Lastly, the other issue is that Mr. Showbiz later. You understand? Now you should ask yourself, why did they ask him to write 3 to 4 different types of confessions? Not confessions.
Yes.
Is affidavit. The reason is being that after Gininde discovered that docket 375 was opened on the basis of defeating end of justice.
Yes.
So they had to make sure that he comes again to give another affidavit. And then they later claimed that it was in the record already. But the question is, the one that was read in court, is it the original one, or is this the third one, or is this the second one? We don't know about that, whether it is the first letter that was done by Mabaut or something like that, or is it the second? Because no one knows. Was my understanding, the word from the grapevine is saying that this letter was exposed to the defense, I think 3 weeks before, 2 weeks or so before the cross-examination of Nkininda. Do you understand?
Yes.
So if it was the case, because if that letter was there from the beginning, when he was doing trial within the trial, you were supposed to have been interrogated about it. But the fact that nothing was mentioned in that regard, because it's coming now as a surprise to the defense that there was this letter. That's why they were asking for what you call it, 125. Miss Mshololo, she was asking that she needs the number. You know, like when you open a docket, you give it a number. So it will tell you, that number will tell you when that thing was done. Because you cannot avoid that. So it's a little bit tricky. And the other thing, when I look at the four advocates that are left, Minisi is most likely to be the one who's capable, or maybe Msololo. But we see that Minisi does not seem to be interested. Do you understand?
Yes.
Judging from the other time when he agreed first to look after Musi, and then he came the other time, he was wishy-washy.
Yeah.
He was saying he doesn't know, Mgumezu must come, because the agreement, but when Mgumezu was there, they all agreed that Musi was supposed to be the watchman for Mgumezu whilst he was away. But after 2 weeks, he started changing, saying he needs to come and clarify that because it's too heavy for me. So in that case, if he had complained before, and I don't think this at this moment in time, you say he's not capable. You understand? Yes. So he's in a quandary. Because Lamasipile, he cannot manage. That's for sure. And then Khumalo is technical, but is easily shut out by Ngumezu, by Rata. So you need somebody that is very radical, in approach. And a lawyer that can tell Judge Rata to order, I think if you could get one of those guys, there's a guy in the, what's called AK's case. Oh. There's one, I think the lawyer of is number 1. That guy who caused the thin one. I think there's a guy who made the state, who said that there was information that was in the public domain, and the state was refusing it to be on the record. that guy argued this case. The judge was resistant for some time until he had to say, okay, I hear you. That information has got to be put on record. And then he managed to debunk that information from the state before the case had commenced. You understand? They were still laying out the arguments. So you need such kind of lawyers who are not afraid of a judge.
No.
I think that's my 2 cents. But what I would like to say, I appreciate what you're doing by bringing different opinions.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
What it does, it enlightens the doubters and the haters. You know, I think you guys are doing a very good job. Keep it up. We'll continue to watch and to support you guys. Have yourself a good morning.
Thank you.
Yes, and we wouldn't be able to do it without your opinions as well. I wouldn't cover this if we didn't do it like this.
Right.
I couldn't.
Yeah, let's press that like button.
I need you guys to say something.
Let's press that like button, please. I cause my call. They are very, very not coming there. So, really, it was not long. I think. Thank you guys, and I guess the chats today, and thank you for from Tim Rosemary for gifting membership to Timberland Kanye, very deserving also. I hope that Timberland Kanye is going to maintain it. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. Ned, I could not see you. I'm still trying to find you, but maybe it's going to be there maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. But maybe something happened in your account. Let's check it. Let's take it offline.
No, Lucanio is saying, yeah, Kwalaramo Sipili cannot represent Danzi well, but could defend the judge at the funeral. Oh my God, guys.
Mzansi, hello.
Mzansi, really, how are you guys?
We're good, sir. How are you?
We're good.
Yeah, I'm good, man. You're speaking to Bongs.
Yes, Bongs.
Yeah. If the judge is listening to the media as he always throwing punches and jabs to prove that I hear you on your corners, I think he must take what Elton Hart is saying to consideration. The state has no case. Their case is so reliant to these confessions.
Yes.
Circumstance evidence.
There is no... Those guys, without those confessions, they have nothing to present to that court. Because even if you listen to Keninda, always when he answers to question, he always make reference to those confessions. And to prove that, I agree with the previous scholars who said, Sibiya you just need a strong lawyer, man. Someone who won't be intimidated by that judge, because he has this tendency trying to intimidate people who are questioning, who are raising critical questions. Just need someone who's strong enough not to be intimidated by judge. If that judge is using that style, or I'm sorry to say, apartheid trained him well, man. He know how to instill fear. Those were apartheid tactics. Like it or not, he's black like me and you, but we know that style of trying to instill fear, scaremongering, is apartheid tactics. They train him so well, and he's using it against our fellow black legal practitioners. That's why it's become so sad. And some of these lawyers are scared to call him out. You see, the most valid point that Elton Hart say, I want us to balance the equation. If you remember Sibiya's confession, he's talking about that confession. If you read the context of that confession, is about Makimbi and Marco.
Yes.
And then those police officers, they went and do their investigation and find out, no, man, the equation is not equationing here. During this time, those were in jail. So How are we going to prove this? Because Makimbi will come and say, no, I was in jail. I was arrested for my things. Now Sibiya's confession, if you are observing, that Sibiya's confession is slowly being thrown under carpet. Just check, just observe Balo and Kininda. Just observe. They knew that they need those two confessions. That's why in Danzi, it was necessary for Ndazi to make two confessions. One in front of Mboto, the other one in front of magistrate. Danzi is their ace card. Is the only card they have on their sleeve is those confessions from Danzi. Because Sibiya's confession is easily getting out of the window. Because you go with that confession on your investigation, is not taking you anywhere. That's why I say those guys, they don't have a case. Only they have those confessions of which they coerce people to sign those statements. They realize their equation is not balancing, because if they will stick to this year's confession, Makimbi will come and say, during that time I was in prison. So what do you mean? I don't know this person. Or I know this person, but he knows I was arrested. Why would he lie about me? Then that will prove that Sibiya, he could say anything because he was beaten up. Even though he was not with Makimbi, as long as he know Makimbi, he could just mention anyone he knows in those confessions because he was under pressure.
Yes.
That's why Sibiya's confession is not carrying weight anymore. If you observe the proceeding, there is no weight that is attached on Sibiya's confession because it exonerates him. And I so we shall always, man, must stop. Yeah, respect is everything, man. Everywhere you go, we can't beat around the bush about that. But sometimes the respect must be two-way traffic, man. I watch a lot of cases, man. I saw the other lawyer from those cases from America, black practitioner. He was telling the judge, those white judges who are like Rata trying to install fee. That guy, I was so impressed. He told that judge, listen, I'm a legal practitioner. I'm here to represent my client. I'm not here on your invitation. Please, you are a judge. I'm a legal practitioner.
About American courts.
I need that kind of a lawyer, man. That in Americans, they don't give a damn about the white cockage. They say
to practice because you speak your mind.
He said, I'm here as a legal practitioner to represent my client. I'm not here on an invitation. Once you interpret the law in a manner that suits some agenda or narrative, there is a problem with the law. But once you interpret the law proper, nothing is wrong with this law. I appreciate the law. That guy just told me, I appreciate the law. That's why I went to school to study the law. There is nothing with the law. But once you interpret the law in a manner that will suit some certain agenda or narrative, that's where the law becomes a problem. And the other thing I'm worried about, if Sibiya can appoint a new lawyer, just watch the space, Mr. Anno. That judge will come with case law to block those witnesses not to be recalled. Just watch the judgments. Files will come here. Judge from 1960, you will see. 1928, you will see a lot of judgment trying to block that. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
We are in a position where we
Thank
can
you, Lola.
predict.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lola.
There is one thing that is very interesting for me. Why hasn't someone used Moses' statement as a point of defense?
Who?
I mean, accused number one, I guess it was before Ngomezulu came. Trial within a trial, it was not used that much. I don't think it was canvassed. Why I'm saying this, because if you listen careful at Boxback, when those guys were there to see the magistrate for the first time, accused number 5 says it. This guy saying Gininda, he came there to arrest Ubteles,
yes.
and then he changed.
Yes, and went to them.
And he went to them, then after that he changed. Now, the statement of accused number 1 is indeed talking about the Buteleses. It's not a coincidence. Why was that not used?
Maybe it was going to be now in the trial. Gomezulu perhaps. Gomezulu perhaps is going to use it, I believe. But
Ngomezulu was going to use it. That's what you're saying.
I believe so.
Yeah, it was not canvassed because I'm saying this.
I believe he was going to.
It can't be a coincidence that these people, they say accused 1 and 2, accused 1 and 5. They say they don't know each other, right?
Yes.
They couldn't have talked about this. They were not arrested in one area. They couldn't have anticipated this. Yet the first reason why these guys didn't want to go to the stand, they say this guy is a crook, right? Isigebengu baba. Ufike lapha kithi wathi uzobopha labafana bakaButhelezi.
Yes. Yes.
So if that is the case, accused number 5 saying that, and then accused number 2 confesses on that regards, same as accused number 5. When was accused number 2 apprehended?
June, the following month, a month later. Not even a month, a couple of days later.
Accused number 1, sorry, accused number 1.
Accused number 1 was on the 30th of May in 2020. And
then when was accused number 5 charged for this case? October.
Later.
So you see that the statement that was made by accused number 1, that is now just a statement in J, that is regarded as a lie, as Gninda would put it. There is something common about it and what was said in that Boksburg court before they even talked about the statements.
Hear what you're trying to say.
So there is something wrong, or I could be wrong, but it can be that two people who do not know each other, who were not in conversation, as the Section 205 was proving, that they say such things. Abafana bakaButhelezi abaphi labo bafana? Who are those bafana bakaButhelezi?
Are they not the ones that accused number 1 was talking about?
Are they not the same ones? Yes.
So-called confession.
Yes.
You know, I remember from Agenda Network watching someone who was speaking about how he was apprehended by the police. And he said...
Sorry, Mzansi, hello? You hold the story. Yeah, we have Njani.
That's cool. Njani.
Njani.
That's cool. Yeah, Mr. Anonymous.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say, since when we're going to take advice from the judge, when he says, Mr. Sibiya, I can take one of those lawyers who are already in the, and he was rushing him. From the beginning of this trial, when the judge says, let's go right, you know you have to go left.
Exactly. We've been saying that.
Yeah, you have to go left.
You must.
And I'm worried because I'm not sure about Munisi, because he said, no, my lord, we have to think about it. But I'm worried about what Mr. Ramsipeli said, that he's ready to help. That one worries me because I don't think it's going to be a good idea for accused number 2 to take Ramsipeli again, because that advice from the judge is pointing to Mr. Ramsipeli.
It seems as if everyone is actually pointing to Ramsipeli, who, from the state's point of view and the judge. Let's say from the state's point of view, yes.
Yeah, it's not for they can say all of you guys, but it's not for all of them. It's for Mr. Ramsipeli. But it's going to be very difficult for accused number 2.
Yes.
If he doesn't have any other options, he can take maybe Munisi or Ngumar. But for me, if those lawyers were fair, they can just say no. We cannot handle this. If they are fair, just because I can see that the legal aid will force him to take one of those lawyers or tell him about money or how much it's going to cost him for to hire his own preferred lawyer. But if those four can refuse, say, no, we cannot handle it, it's going to be better for him. Because the legal aid will choose for him or will say he must choose one of those four. But if those four can say no, it's going to be better for him. Because, it's going to cost a lot of money, but the state obvious will force him to take one of his own from legal aid but those four can say no, I cannot handle it. So Mr. Sibiya will be left with option whether to find someone from legal aid or maybe by miracle they will agree to fund him to choose his own his own lawyer. But for me, if we pick Mr. Ramsipel, I'm worried. Even those others, I'm also worried about them. This case, it's like a relay. When you have done so much, if it's time for you to leave, you have to say no, thank you. You must know where to stop and take if there is somebody who's willing to take over, you must give somebody chance. A lot of people didn't understand why Tefo was saying no, I'm done. It was his time to say, I've done so much. So this case, if it's possible, Mr. Sibiya can find someone, that's going to be a good thing for him and for other accusers, because there are a lot of things that the defense must revisit. But we all know that the judge won't allow them to call certain witness. They say no, but Bale can call Stein twice. And who's? But the defense won't be allowed to call someone like Zungu or Zandi to come and verify certain things. Like somebody like Zungu, we are talking about Zungu every day. Zungu and his father, Zungu and his father. So that person, obviously, he must come and clarify certain things. But with those four and the judge, they won't be able to call Zungu. But with somebody from outside, and Mr. Anonymous, when you are from outside, you are able to watch the trial, to follow the trial. You are able to identify the mistakes and certain things that the defense didn't touch, and you are able to do proper examination. When you come in with power and well-researched. It's not like something which is happening like inside, you are inside the court. You have to act at a particular moment. You see, when you come there, if you are prepared, the time they learn your style, the time they find you, you're already gone. Yeah. So already the judge knows Muniz, they know Khumalo, they know Mshololo. I can't say much about Ramsipel now. I'm not disrespecting him. He has done so much, but I think even Mr. Ramsipel, if he was someone, he was supposed to resign this time and say, I'm done. Come with a story maybe, and let Ntanzi find someone to carry on. Yeah. Or if he doesn't want to do that, he must add someone there to assist him and sit down and let someone lead. You see?
Yeah.
But some people are selfish. They just want this kick for themselves. And in reality, it's people's life here.
Yeah.
We are talking about people's life here. So I am just worried that when you hear the judge saying, hey, go right, you must go left, if it's possible. Because they are rushing him like nobody's business. And these things of the passing of Mngomezulu, for them, it's like a win. But if the defense can play it right, they can also use it as an advantage for them. Just bring someone to beef up that defense, someone with experience.
Yes.
Yeah. And finish the case. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, just press the like button. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone who was here.
Message to all the moderators: please don't block anybody, please.
I was still gonna investigate. You spoke before. Let me investigate. Then I will find out what happened. Maybe.
As block on, please.
Yeah, let's find out what happened. Could be a change of names. There are a lot of things that could be at play. Let's find out, then I will come back. I'm sure, though, if tomorrow this persists, then that's a different story.
Okay.
Yes. Right, guys. Ngiyavala la. Thank you. It's cool. Thank you.
Okay, guys,
everyone was
you.
here. Everyone who liked, everyone who joined as a member, maintained that membership. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. You are our CEOs. We appreciate you. We are indebted to you, as Ramsibi would say. Thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Please interact with the adverts, and tomorrow we are here. Don't worry for something else. We are covering everything that we didn't cover. We missed.
We couldn't cover because we were busy with the court proceedings.
Yes. So, don't worry. We are here tomorrow.
Breaking.
Yeah, today actually. Thank you very much, guys.